let's talk about Gen V. This is the spin-off series from The Boys. If you've been watching The Boys, of course, The Boys is a series that exposes the soups for what they really are. Complete hypocrites, horrible human beings. Their public-facing view of the superheroes is that they save the world, they save people, and they do good. Behind the scenes, they are immature children, spoiled, sex-crazed, drug-crazed, horrible, horrible human beings. Is this a comment on current-day Hollywood or politicians? Yes, it is. The public-facing view that we see of people, politicians and celebrities, they are not who they claim to be. That is what The Boys is about. That is also what Gen V is about. You could also place this in the world of sports, whatever it is. Whenever there's a public-facing view of a person, there's commentary coming from The Boys. Gen V follows. First of all, the first 5 minutes of Gen V introduces us to a character. Her name is Marie Moreau, played by Jazz Sinclair. Well, actually, she plays the older version of the character Marie Moreau. A younger version of her, you see her as a child, and I'm not going to describe in graphic detail, but she is a young woman, realizes she's becoming a young woman. Blood is involved, but blood in the hands of Maria Moreau is lethal. And by sheer accident, she ends up murdering, not understanding how her superpowers work, that she can manipulate blood. She can turn it into something sharp. She can use it to grab things. She doesn't understand how her powers work. And as she is in that moment becoming a woman, she accidentally murders her parents. Her young sister witnesses this. Cut to later, Marie Moreau, burdened with this horrible superpower involving blood, is now enrolled into a university. This university, Godolkin University, or God U, as it's sometimes called, is where superheroes go to be trained to eventually get brand contracts. It's very much in line with sports, right? Who is ranked the highest, who is doing well. If you get a high ranking, you'll end up getting a manager or an agent, and you'll be assigned as a superhero to a city. But it depends on what your superpowers are, how they are used. And this university trains young people who are cursed with these powers. And I do say cursed because a lot of the superpowers in this case are curses more than blessings. In a way, this show is what The Boys is to Gen V, the X-Men is, or the Avengers is to the X-Men. This is the X-Men in the Boys universe, and it's fantastic. Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, plays a character named Luke Reardon, Golden Boy. He basically has powers that are kind of like the Human Torch, and you meet a whole host of other characters. Kate Dunlap, her power is that she can manipulate people by simply touching them. There's another character, Emma Meyer. Is it Emma Myers? Yeah. Emma Myers, Emma Meyer, her character, it's played by the actress Lizzie Broadway. Her character can shrink. She can get very small. She can also get very big. But the only way to do that, the way she achieves getting small, is by vomiting. There's another character that can change its sex from female to male. What I like about the show is, with all of these things, you can see how the so-called bulimia from Emma Meyer's character, she has to basically vomit to get tiny, and then she can get really, really tiny. And then she can go do whatever a little tiny character could do. All of these powers seem to be more like curses when it comes to Gen V. And what the show does a great job of, it doesn't really it satirizes everything. Everything is satire. And I really fell in love with all these characters. Marie Moreau, like what convinced me is having seen Ahsoka and then watching Loki, and then suddenly I see the first 5 minutes of Gen V and I was hooked. How does that happen? Because it's all about character. It's all about how these characters are affected, not just by the powers that they have, the world that they're thrust into, which is these celebrity superpowered individuals all chasing after contracts which will lead them to, being the protector of a particular city, right? That's what they want to do. They want to bag the big contract, go to a big city where they'll make a lot of money, potentially maybe even be one of the members of the Seven, effectively the Avengers in the boys universe. I'm not going to I've seen the first 4 episodes. I don't want to burden you too much with story. Just to give you my overall impressions. Also, Alan hasn't seen it yet, but Marie Moreau ends up becoming roommates with Emma, who's shrinks, and the two of them forge a friendship. There then a mystery unfolds because I don't want to get into it. It's very spoilery in the first episode. We lose one of the characters, and that character's death resonates for the rest of the series because there is a mystery somehow involving dreams and a world called the Woods. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to go beat by beat on the story. I'll just say I've seen the first 4 episodes. I'm sold based on the fact that I actually care about all of these characters. That unlike the boys where they have these cool superpowers. I can fly. I have super strength. I have super speed. I can do this. Like I can breathe underwater. Like these are traditional superpowers that are associated with characters from both the Avengers and the Justice League. The powers that are in Gen V are all burdens. They're not fully, and each of the characters fully doesn't even understand their powers because Marie Moreau can manipulate blood. And there are some shocking moments. I'll talk about some of the shocking moments in a minute. Emma Myers' character, like because she can shrink, she ends up hooking up with a guy. And the show, to be clear, is this is not for kids. This is a big middle finger to Marvel. It is hyper violent and also there's a lot of sex. So there is a sex scene with Emma Myers' character where she shrinks down to where she's basically riding a man's penis like you would a mechanical bull at a bar. It's played for laughs. It's weird. And that's not the weirdest thing that happens in the show. So a strong recommendation for Gen V. It's 8 episodes. We're halfway in. I cannot wait to see where it goes. Also, I know a lot of people have sort of fallen off on the boys. I'll say that I actually really enjoy the boys. I plan to catch up when the new season comes out. But I'm really sold on Gen V, a completely new set of characters. And I'll say this also, that the characters from the boys affect events in Gen V. But I'll say that you don't need to have watched the boys to see this. It's a world of superheroes. Kids with superheroes go to a school. There's no Professor X type of character. Like there's a head of the university, but it's not like the X-Men. It's different. In a way, it's more like a farming league for professional athletes is kind of what Gen V is. I love the show. I'm going to watch it till the end, and I'll give you my final roundup when the last episode airs. Let's see what you thought. Hopefully some people have actually also seen Gen V.
So it's not completely out, so we can't binge.
No, it's only 4 they dropped 3 episodes on the first day, and then 1 episode came out last week. So I have seen 4 episodes. So it's but they dropped 3 episodes on day 1, 3 episodes out of the gate. But I'm telling you, if you watch, this is not for kids. This is adult. This is very adult. And this is why I actually think this may contribute to why Marvel hasn't grown. One of the things that was interesting, before we get to your comments, one of the things that was really interesting about the Harry Potter movies is the Harry Potter movies aged with the audience. First Harry Potter, the kids were very young, and it was very much a children's movie. And the movies became more mature as the audience grew with the movies. The Marvel films have not done that. Star Wars has not done that. Gen V is, if you watched Marvel movies as a kid, you're now an adult. Gen V is for you. Let's go to your comments and questions before.
Let me sum up one question that's being asked a lot. But is it woke?
Yeah, there's some stuff in it but what it does is it mocks wokeness. So like one of the characters can turn to a male or a female, and they make jokes about it. One character also, the black woman, Marie Moreau, happens to be a black woman, and the woman who's trying to, like, one of the women from the university who's trying to sell her to a potential manager is, see, we don't always have to go with white men as our heroes. She's basically, the show calls out wokeness. It has it. Here's what the show does. The show has it both ways. It calls out wokeness while at the same time also being woke. So you have one of the lead characters, it's an ensemble show, but one of the lead characters is a young black woman, but it calls out that, like, it's that the show's diverse. Like, you need more diversity in your heroes. It actually makes fun of it while also being it at the same time. Does that make sense?
Look, I'll go based on Boys season 3. It made fun of wokeness, but it was definitely not. I would never say it was a balanced show, and I'll say it this way: Homelander is clearly Trump. And all the negative things, all the things you believe about Trump, if you're on the left, that is all represented in Homelander, and that was my issue. Was it is self-aware enough to poke fun at itself, but it's definitely not balanced in any way. And I don't think, from what I'm hearing, I don't necessarily think that this is a balanced series either, which is fine. I've grown up on very liberal television over my lifetime, so I'm kind of used to it, but I wouldn't say it's balanced.
I don't really care. It's sort of like, you can have your cake and eat it too, because it makes fun of stuff that's woke. It makes fun of, like, they, them stuff, while at the same time they have a character that can change gender. So the show has it both ways. Whether you think that matters or not is up to you. That's
fine. I think you're saying it
worked for me.
It sees the extreme progressiveness of the left and pokes fun at it. And I think we can give it credit for that.